In a small town, there lived a boy named Rohan. He was intelligent, hardworking, and full of big dreams. But he had one habit that always got him into trouble. He talked too much. Whenever he learned something new, he couldn't keep it to himself. Whether it was about his studies, ambitions, or personal goals, Rohan would announce everything to everyone. He believed that sharing his plans would keep him motivated. Plus, he loved the attention and praise he received from others. His friends admired his ideas, his family felt proud, and even his teachers encouraged him. But despite all the admiration, he struggled to succeed. Meeting the wise man. One day, Rohan visited the town temple, where he met an old wise man, Guruji. Guruji had seen Rohan many times, always talking about his future. That day, he finally called him over and asked, "Son, you always talk about your dream, but have you achieved them yet?" Rohan hesitated. He had set many goals, but accomplished very little. He sighed and replied, "Guruji, I try my best, but things never go as planned." Guruji smiled and said, "Let me tell you a story, one that will change the way you think." Long ago, in a small village, there was a poor but hardworking farmer named Dev. Dev had a dream, to own a huge farm filled with crops. Every day he worked tirelessly, saving every penny. But he had one rule: he never spoke about his plans to anyone. Whenever people asked, "Dev, why do you work so hard?" he would simply smile and say, "You'll see when the time is right." Years passed. Slowly, Dev bought small pieces of land. He planted crops, expanded his farm, and even built a beautiful house. One day, an old friend visited and asked, "Why didn't you ever tell anyone about your plans?" Dev smiled and replied, "When you talk too much about your dreams, two things happen. First, people discourage you. Second, your energy is wasted in talking instead of working. Silence protects your goals. Words are like arrows. Once shot, they cannot return. So I chose to let my success speak instead." Hearing this story, Rohan was deep in thought. Guruji continued, "Son, when you talk too much about your goals, two things happen. First, people may discourage you. Not everyone will be happy for your success. Second, the excitement you feel fades away. When you talk, your mind believes you've already achieved something, and you lose the motivation to work for it." Rohan finally understood why his plans never worked. He was spending too much energy talking instead of acting. He looked at Guruji and asked, "Can I still change myself?" Guruji smiled. "Of course. From today, speak less and act more. Let your success make the noise, not your words. Remember, silence is powerful." From that day, Rohan changed. He stopped discussing his plans with everyone. He focused on taking action instead. He studied harder, worked in silence, and avoided unnecessary discussions. Months passed, and Rohan saw a huge difference in his life. He was achieving more, his confidence grew, and most importantly, he no longer needed external validation. When the results of his final exams were announced, Rohan had topped the school. His friends were shocked. "How did you do it?" they asked. Rohan simply smiled, remembering Guruji's words, "Be silent and get everything." Years later, Rohan became a successful entrepreneur, inspiring thousands with his story. He proved one thing: real success doesn't come from talking, but from taking action. Because sometimes silence is the most powerful tool of all. So remember, speak less, work more, and let your success do the talking.